All right. So our class, waffle, right? Go to classroom. It's too busy in the stream, right? Don't try to use that. Don't it's, just go by. I got topics, weeks, right? This always means material. So these are going to be the documents we're working with. If it's loading funny and you can't read it, open it with Google Docs because that's the original format. It'll make it a little bit more clear. Um, and then this is where I'm going to turn in the files for the week, and I'll show you how to do that. All right, so introduction to drawing, all this stuff. Uh, Read through it, right? They give you the things you're using: mine, circle, erase, print, undo. These are the icons that go with them. And then don't worry about these. These are outdated, but they're at the bottom. You can see the finished. So if we look by the end of our drawing, we should have this, right? All right, so what do they show us to do? They show us how to get into AutoCAD. I go up here, it's new. ACAD, DWP. Your version might look different. If you have 23, 24, open though. All right, now I have this, right? All these things, all these features. We're going to start slow, go through the first couple. But we got our new, oh, it's because it's 2013. Uh, Instead of looking like that, we had it down here. Same thing though, ACAD, DWP. Now they're going to go through the basic types of things. So we're going to start line in the command line. Down here's the command line. I start typing line. Now it starts asking me for points. I go back. Um, what are my points? 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 1, 4. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 1, 4. 1, comma 2, 3, comma 2. That's probably not even right. I did Control Z. I know 1, comma 2 was right. What was the next one? Um, 3. I go back into the command line. All right. Now this is dynamic input. If this pops up, we can't type in there. So I hit F12 to turn it off. And then it's down. If you hover over it, that's dynamic input down here. All right. So since that was on, it wouldn't give me the right coordinates, right? How I'm using my scroll wheel on my mouse to get closer. So in case you're wondering how I'm zooming in and zooming out. And then what? 3, 4, 1, 4. So then I got 3, comma 4, 1, comma 4. And then I can go back or I can hit C because I already know that I'm making a rectangle, right? All right, just to double check, it should be, I'm going to dimension it out. It's a square actually. I think. Let's see. Linear. Got my dimensions. Yeah, it's a square. All right, so those are Control Z. All right, those are my dimensions. Escape to turn stuff off. It's my regular selector tool. All right, 2 by 2 square, right? This is the command line. If something happens and I get rid of it, Control 9 brings it back. All right. Another thing that happens is this up here. If you click it by accident, it's hard to get all your stuff back. So you can just scroll through. All right. Um, then what's the next thing? So we did this, right? Now that is using the command line with absolute coordinates. So this whole thing is based on a Cartesian plane, right? All the like X, Y axis stuff with the numbers. So if this is 0, 0 over and up, that's where we're getting these numbers from. If I'm escaping out, I'll do line. If I did like -1, comma, -2, so this box should be positive, positive. Down here should be negative, negative. Oops, line. All right, see how this like quadrant is negative, negative, right? That's that whole Cartesian plane thing. These are the absolute coordinates. Everything, even though you can't see it, has a number and it's absolute, right? You know the coordinates locations. All right, the next one is relative. All right, so relative is a little bit different, but you're going to start with an exact coordinate, 4.5 comma 2, and then we're going to draw it relative to that point. So same thing, line of, I think it's 4.5 comma 2. All right, and then what do we got? At 2, 0, that means it's 2 on the x, 0 in the y. At 0, 2, at negative. All right, so at 2 comma 0. Oof, what was that next one? Then at 0, 2, and then at -2, 0. All right, and I'm gonna just close. All right, now like it went over 2 points, right? So it should be the same thing. We just got there in a different way. We did uh, relative coordinates, right? Now we're gonna do polar coordinates. So relative, wherever we started, we went 2 over on the x, 0 over on the y, all that type of stuff. Um, I'll come back and do this. Let's do circle real quick. Circle, add the circle, a center point, 7 comma 6 with a radius. All right, so escape, escape, escape. Start and write and circle in here. So 7 comma 6. All right, so now this is, see how it asks me for the radius, right? If it happens to ask you for like, if it tells you diameter, then you do a half of it. That's the relationship. But this one doesn't. So I can go 0.75, enter. And then if I dimension it out, now if you notice this sign means diameter, the one that looks like Saturn, because it's going all the way through the circle. Half of it is the radius. Let's see if we can get the radius. The radius is always half of the diameter. All right, so that's where we get that from. Okay. Oh, the polar's on the angle. Uh, so, and then like at the end, they wanted you to use some like mental skills, right? So we drew all these lines. There's a couple different ways, but if it starts at 0, 0, and we want it to be, we want it to go over, so we could use that like line 0 comma 0. That's the origin, right? And now we could do our at we wanted to go over, I think it's 10 by 7. So 10, comma 0, right? And now we're going to go at 0 because we don't want it to go we don't want it to go over at all on the x-axis. But now we want it to go on the y. And now we want to go backwards from here, right? So we got to go, I think it's at -10 on the x, 0 on the y. Yeah. Okay. And then C for close. All right. I'm not going to do that last one because you have to follow the directions, but this is pretty much what it is. And then I can, dimension it out. This thing should be 10 by, oof, I did it wrong. So do what I did, except make it 7. Also, a lot of times I do stuff wrong on the tutorials. So, because like last year, kids were just screenshotting the tutorials and then saying they did it. So there's mistakes. So if you happen to get a 10-10, I'm going to question you whether or not you're cheating. All right. So once again, following the document, looking at the end, just following it line by line, and tell you what to do. Instead of printing it, we're going to print to a PDF and then uh, turn it in, right? So Control P, instead of just find PDF, right? You're going to print the PDFs, and then that's what you're going to turn in. All right.